Resistance. Resistance is the fact that it doesn't just flow freely when we're talking about electrical current. Electrical current takes a little bit of oomph to get it moving, and whatever the electrons are flowing through is going to resist it a little bit. This resistance goes into heat, warms up the resistor a little bit. That's why your phone feels a bit warm when it's charging, why electronics get hot, because all of that current flowing vibrates the atoms a little bit, right? Because the protons kind of want to hold on to even the electrons in a conductor. Even then, the electrons kind of want to stay around protons, and so there's a little bit of friction essentially that happens. That friction causes resistance. Now, in proper terms, really, everything has resistance. The only difference between a conductor and an insulator is just that conductors have relatively low resistance compared to insulators. You can make current flow through an insulator. The voltage has to be really high, and it tends to cause so much friction that it damages the insulator. That's why you don't want to get hit by lightning. You are not a very good conductor, and so all of that friction from the resistance is going to be bad. But let's go ahead and fill out our little table. Resistance is the idea. We can talk about it being the resistance to flow, we could write down. So we could say resistance is the resistance to electron flow. You might also think about it as electron friction as it flows. So that might be the way that you could hold that in your head. So resistance is the resistance to electron flow or electron friction, if you don't like using a word in its own definition. The variable that we're going to use here makes sense for the word resistance. The variable that we're going to use in all of our equations is going to be a capital R. So resistance, capital R. Looking good so far. Things break down a little bit on the unit. The unit is called the ohm, named after the same scientist who discovered the relationship between current and voltage. So that's the way that we spell that, OHM. And the abbreviation, we use actually a Greek symbol, the capital letter omega. So if you've ever seen this, there's a lot of different uses for that. Resistance is measured in ohms. We're going to put it into the variable R. There we go. Resistance is the electron friction, slows down the current, represented by the variable R, measured in ohms.